Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abhishek Suryavanshi, and I'm curator founder of TEDx Pune. How many people have heard of TED.com before or TED Talks? Great. So almost everybody knows what the TED Talks are all about. We will just go about the brief history. TED started in 1984 with a simple vision: ideas worth spreading for better tomorrow. In 2000, Chris Anderson took over the TED conferences and he converted into a non-profit. In 2006, they started releasing the TED Talks in public domain, completely free of cost on TED.com. And the response was huge and amazing. In 2009, they hosted the first TED India conference, which was outside United States. And each and every country started asking, come to our country and host a TED event here. TED said that it's difficult and impossible to go to each and every city, but at the same time, each and every city, each and every district is having a talent. So they started a TEDx program, where X stands for Independently Organized TED Event. So TED says that we will give you the license, you give a platform to the local talent, record the talks and submit it back to us. So that's the basic concept of TEDx. TEDx Pune we started in 2009-2010 with the aim of inspiring better citizenship. If you see all the problems around us, everything is related to citizenship. Let it be the global warming, traffic. If you want a better tomorrow, we need better citizen. So we hosted the first conference on 10th of October 2010 with a simple goal of inspiring and empowering better citizens for better tomorrow. We hosted in a really nice grand auditorium with 500 attendees. But later on we realized that 70% India is completely far away from technology. English is the biggest barrier. Technology is the second biggest barrier. So we were thinking about how to go ahead about it. So we decided that we need to take TEDx Pune to the rural and underprivileged community. In 2011, that was like an impossible dream. We need support, you need infrastructure, you need the projector and all. We presented this idea to Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and Gates Foundation said that if you want to do it, we will support it and just do it. So every month we do 2 saloon events for underprivileged community in Pune and around. With a simple aim, we just go there, show the TED Talks with Marathi subtitle. And result is amazing. Then every Saturday, Sunday we show them 3 to 4 TED Talks with subtitles, that's it. We just show them the other side of the world. After 6 months, we ask them, what do you want to do in your life? They say, I want to be the scientist, I want to be the astrophysicist. So that kind of shift in mind we saw. So we are doing it every second Saturday, Sunday. Apart from that, we have conferences like the small events like this. So here we will be recording, we will have some live speakers, we will record their talks. Those talks will go on TEDx YouTube channel. At the same time, TEDx Pune will circulate these talks to 40 plus underprivileged communities with Marathi subtitles. So that's a basic introduction about TED and TEDx Pune. I would like to welcome everybody to this amazing platform. Before starting, I want to say thanks to the amazing TEDx Pune team. Normally people do it at the end of the event, but personally I would prefer to do it at the beginning. I would like to request all the volunteers, please come on stage. I think this might be happening for the first time in the history. Students from foreign country are coming to the Pune city or any city, and whatever you are seeing from stage, starting from the letters to the flowers, choosing the speakers, curating them, everything is done by them. So really hats off to the entire team. So with this, without wasting a time, let's just start. I would like to hand over the mic to the
Hi everybody, thank you to Abhishek to make this presentation for us. Like Abhishek said, welcome to everybody. This is TEDx Pune, but not normal TEDx Pune. This is Dream Big, and that's why we want to share all the dreams that we have today in this small auditorium with all of us. So we think that all of us, everybody in this auditorium has a dream, and we believe that our mission is to make them come true. We are working to make them true. So personally, I finished high school about 3 years ago, and I didn't know what to study. I didn't know what is the university, what to choose in the university. So I decided that this was my time to dream big, and that's why I chose this option. I created my own company with other 10 young dreamers, and that's why we are here. We want to show all of us our dream, why we are working. That's why we are here now in Pune. So, dreamers are brave, and dreamers are passionate. Dreamers also fall down, but they need always to encourage to stand up. That is our mission. So, we are born to succeed, not to fail. That is the sentence that I learned from the first big dreamer that we are going to have now in the stage. So please, Mr. Paracha, come, it's your turn.
Good afternoon, my name is Parag. What does it take to dream big? I really don't know. But I do know that each one of us is a unique piece of art created by God. And each one of us has the power to dream. I'm going to start with a story. The story began a long time ago with a little village boy. This little village boy would go to his mother every morning and she would hand him a quarter of a rupee. And he would run to the nearest bookshop in his village and buy a book. The book would consist of many stories, amazing stories. And these stories became a part of his life. And he became completely lost in the world of dreams. Why is it important to dream? It defines your trajectory. If you dream small, if I dreamed small as a village boy, I would have remained in the comfort of the village of my home. I used to live in a town called Daud. It was a very small village in those days, talking of 50 years back. I would have remained in the comfort of my village, but because I had learned to dream, I came to the city and I stand in front of you today. It's not possible for any single man to ever achieve whatever he does without his team of people, his partners, his family, his relatives, his parents, his employees. Everybody plays a big role in a man's success. One dreams because you hold on to hope. Dreams give you hope. I think the most important element of a dream is its ability to give you hope. And it's very important for every human being to survive, for without hope there would be despair. Also, I think more importantly in real life, if you follow a dream, you're not pursuing money. You're not passionate about money. You're pursuing a dream. Money becomes then a byproduct. So you're going to wonder, how did a businessman transition into education? I began my journey by going to Oxford, Cambridge, Stanford, Harvard, several universities I visited. But before I went there, I had many questions bothering me. I said, what is it that makes a young man in India dream? Somebody wants to be a Ratan Tata, somebody wants to be a Steve Jobs, somebody wants to be an astronaut, somebody wants to be a Preeti Zinta or a Sachin Tendulkar. But why is it that only a few make it? Why do others become just me too? Why do students who perform very well in academics end up performing moderately in life? They don't pursue their dreams. There are students who do brilliantly in their academics but don't end up doing very well. And then, why do moderate students perform brilliantly when they go outside our country? These questions were bothering me. And when I went to the US, I was very stuck by the liberal arts system of education here. And that's when the dream of FLAME, the Foundation for Liberal and Management Education, began for me. I said, India's population demographics are different. India needs something different. What it needs is leaders. Leaders and entrepreneurs and business people who will even dream bigger. I have a dream. My dream is to create 10,000 entrepreneurs. Each entrepreneur must empower and employ 500 people each. And these 500 people should take care of 4 Indians' health, welfare and education. If you're not rational, you're not emotionally stable. And if you're not emotionally stable, you're not adaptable. And I think that's where the importance of good education comes. What does it take to make a good leader? 5 things are required. Number 1, you need to be a creative thinker. Second, I think what creativity is made out to be, you have to be a great artist, a great musician, you have to be a great singer. That's not creativity. Creativity can come in any form, your thoughts, your actions, your processes. So somebody can be creative in his thoughts, somebody can be creative in his actions, somebody can be creative in his processes. Creativity can manifest itself in many forms. And at Midas we believe in fostering innovation and creativity. The buzzword today is innovate or perish. Unless and until we create a bunch of leaders who are going to innovate, this society is going to perish. Critical thought. Unfortunately, our education system prepares students for chasing the right answer. I think we have to invert it. We have to prepare people for chasing the right question, ladies and gentlemen. It's very important that you prepare people for chasing the right question. It's very important to have people smarter than you around you. 5th, empathy. Very thin line between empathy and sympathy. Empathy comes with a great deal of thinking. It cannot come without reading, and this is one of my greatest objections against this young generation of India. You don't read enough. You got to learn to be a voracious reader. Unless and until you are a voracious reader, you will not learn to dream, because you cannot take the vicarious pleasure of being into somebody else's life. You cannot develop a special relationship with a book and enter into a dream world of somebody else and expand your canvas. It's very, very important to have empathy for a good leader. 5th and most importantly, communication skills. Very bad in India. We are very poor in our communication. We are all thinkers. We all think if you think great, you will become great. No. I think for a leader, it's important to sell his dream to all his stakeholders, to his employees, to his suppliers, to his stakeholders, to his shareholders, to his investors. He has to sell his dream. So these are the 5 cornerstones of good leadership, which are creativity or innovation, critical thought, surrounding yourself with people smarter than you are, empathy, and good communication skills. And I'm going to tell you, dream big, dare to fail. I think it's more important that we allow people to dare to fail. Because unless you dare to fail, you cannot dream big. Then they'll just remain dreams. And finally, I want you to remember something she said. She stole it away from me. And I'm going to tell you this. Remember that we are all born to succeed, not to fail. Each one of us is a unique piece of art created by God. God didn't create us to fail, He created us to succeed. So we must succeed, and all of us will. I'm going to end my talk by a little poem from Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling had said, it's a longish poem, it's there on the screen here, but I'm going to just pick out a few words, where he says, if you can dream and not make dreams your masters, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet triumph and disaster and meet both those impostors just the same, you will be man, my son, you will be man, my son. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Great pleasure. Wish you all the very best.
And now to continue with the event, we are on the stage. Is going to be Patty Drogulski. That is one of the Tech Talk video. So we are going to enjoy. And she's going to draw our future. So enjoy.